Right. Good evening to you all. In the previous class, in the last class, we discussed so many important things. Specifically, we discussed about protocols, right? Various protocols are used in internet. I mentioned that protocols are rules, right? They are rules for exchanging information. But since we exchange various information, we definitely need various rules. So there are thousands of protocols on internet, but fortunately we have 5 or 4 of them in our syllabus, right? So we have HTTP as a protocol, we have FTP as a protocol, we have SMTP as a protocol, and HTTPS, and also ICMP and TCP/IP, right? So I explained almost 5 of them, I think, 5 or 4 of them in the last class, but still 1 or 2 to be explained, right? So let's take those protocols first. Right? So set of rules for exchanging information on a network are protocols. We have many, but I have listed some of them. So HTTP is for exchanging hypertext documents. HTTPS almost similar to HTTP, but here it is a secure data transmission. If it is FTP, it is for exchanging files from server to client or client to server. In short, FTP is for download, upload purpose, right? SMTP, as the name implies, it is for transferring simple mails, so electronic mails, right? I think I explained ICMP too, Internet Control Message Protocol. It is the protocol for showing error reports, so showing error messages, because whenever a sender sends, sometimes it reaches the destination, sometimes it doesn't reach the destination. So if it is not reached, there should be an error report sent to the receiver, then only the data can be resent, right? So this is the role of ICMP, Internet Control Message Protocol. Okay. Right. So now we have to take the TCP/IP protocol. Look at that term, TCP/IP. So there are 2 protocols in the name. Actually, it is not a single protocol. It's a combination of protocols. TCP, which is Transmission Control Protocol. IP, it is Internet Protocol. So here they together, they work and perform something to your computer when you are on internet, right? Look here. It would be easy if I explain the functions as a separate manner, right? So I try to explain the function for TCP as well as IP, right? So here I take the IP first. Here IP is responsible for finding the destination, right? Because on an internet, you know, one computer can communicate with the other. One computer can be located in one side, one area, the other computer may be in other area, right? So there should be a technique to identify the destination, right? The receiver. So that is the role of IP. IP finds the destination, because you know IP, Internet Protocol, is the address for identifying the computer. So here the protocol IP is for identifying the computers on the network or on the internet. But TCP, right, Transmission Control Protocol, has the responsibility to take the data, right, to take the data to the right destination, right? And see, I should explain one thing first, right? So when we send the data to the destination, generally data are divided into multiple pieces. Assume that you send an image or something. That image will be broken into pieces, right, on the internet, and every piece will be sent through different paths. They never be sent in a single path. They will be sent in a different path, but in the receiver end, they will be got together. This is the most. This is called packet switches or packet switching or something. But this is the way the data are sent on internet, right? I repeat it. Whenever sender sends a data, it will be divided into pieces, and every piece will travel along with a different path. And maybe at the receiver end, they will be reassembled, right? So here the transmission control protocol takes the responsibility to arrange all these packets, all these parts in an order, because on the receiver side, they will be arranged in an order, right? So it takes the responsibility, right? TCP protocol does that. So here IP shows the path, IP shows the destination computer, but TCP orders all these packets, so all these pieces of data at the receiver end. So even you can imagine this kind of an action like a day-to-day like activity. Assume that you want to send something, a big parcel or something, to another person, right? So you want to send a big package, right, through post or something, right? So generally, sometimes, not actually generally, sometimes that huge parcel or a huge package can be broken into pieces, right? So they will be taken to the destination in different routes, right? Maybe at the receiver end or at the destination, all these parts, all these packages must be arranged in an order. For both purposes, there may be two responsible persons, right? One responsible person takes the responsibility to carry all these things towards the destination. The other person has the responsibility to arrange everything at the destination. That is similar to TCP/IP, right? So, but in your book they have a very simple overview, right? It would be better if I explain in a detailed manner, right? That's why I explain like that. So try to understand. TCP is for arranging or in a particular order, right? It is the responsible protocol for arranging every piece of data in an order. But IP is for showing the destination, right? So this is TCP/IP. So every computer on internet should use TCP/IP protocol. Okay, right. So they are the protocols, right? Next, services of internet. So remember when I explained about www, I told you that www is one of the services of internet, right? www is one of the services of internet. Because of the internet, we all have the access to www. If internet is not found, if internet is not available, you know, www is impossible, right? So that is the one which I explained maybe at the beginning of this unit, right? Okay. So www is one of the services, but internet provides many services to the people who use internet, right? So there are so many services nowadays provided by the internet, right? So let's take them first. The first one is World Wide Web. We already discussed, right? Email. So I will explain how email is provided by internet, or how internet provides email. I will explain. Then file transfer. So internet is the reason for transferring file. I will explain. File sharing, right? Even for sharing a file, internet is important. I will explain. Remote access, wait, I will explain. Search engines, streaming of media, right? So these are the different services provided by internet. So because of the internet, we experience all these services. Okay, right. So I'm not going to explain the World Wide Web because we already studied at the beginning of this unit, right? You all know about www, and also you can understand why www is the service of internet, right? There is no doubt at all. I clearly explain everything, right? Okay. So take the email first. So what is email? See, look here, there is an E, right? It would be better if you put simply, right? But I put a capital E, better to put it as simply, small e, right? So email, it stands for electronic mail, right? Electronic mail. Look here, think about the practical or day-to-day life postal transferring. See, whenever we want to send a post, right? We put it in the post box in a post office, then it will be transferred to some other post offices. Finally, it reaches the destination, right? So that sending or exchanging those posts is nothing. That is called mail, right? It is mail. Mail, what does it mean? It is exchanging information. So when you put a letter in a post box, it means you're about to exchange some information to the others. So in a day-to-day life, mail refers exchanging of information or exchanging of ideas. But here there is an E additionally placed at the beginning, electronic mail. So what is it? It is exchanging messages over internet. But in a normal mail system, we put it in a post office or post box, then it will be transferred to other post offices. Finally, it reached the destination. There is no electronic medium involved. There is no internet, or there is no other things involved. But here, yes, it is a mail transferring, it is similar, but we use internet as an electronic medium for exchanging information, right? So let's take the definition. It is a method of exchanging messages between people using telecommunication networks. Here the phrase telecommunication networks refer internet, right? So remember this one. So because of the internet, email is possible. Imagine if internet is not available, then how can you send or how can you exchange the information between people? No, right? So it is because of internet. That's why email is one of the services of internet. But we will study about email in depth maybe in the next class. If we have time, I will explain, but we have to study about email in a broader manner, right? So I will explain about the other things. For this moment, you need to understand the term email, as well as you have to understand why it is the service of internet, right? So if internet is absent, there is no email at all, right? Okay. So that is the first service of internet, right? Then file transfer. Look here, we can transfer file to our computers. You know, our computers are always called client computers, right? We can transfer files from here to servers, right? You know, that is called, I already explained in the previous class, that is called upload. So whenever I need an upload, definitely I need internet, right? So that activity upload becomes possible with the help of internet. At the same time, whenever I want something from server, there is a file on the server, I want to bring that to my computer. That is called download. So download is an action which refers to bring a file from a server to client. That is download. Can you download a file without having an internet connection? All right. So download, upload are possible because of internet. So that is one of the services. File transfer is one of the services, right? Look here, internet is used to transfer files from client computers to servers, which means upload, and servers to clients, that is download. right? Then we have another one called file sharing. Listen to me, file transferring is different than file sharing. There is no connection between these two. File transferring means there is a file in one place that has to be moved to another place. Here, the place means a computer, right? Maybe from server to client or client to server. The file has to be moved. But if it is a file sharing, there is a file on a place, single file, right? There is a single file on a place, but that single file can be used by multiple users, maybe hundreds, maybe even thousands at a time. It is because of internet. I repeat it, there is a file located on a server. That single file can be shared or can be used by thousands of users at a time. How it's possible? It is because of internet. Imagine, I can give a better example. See here, I already put the example, but I try to explain. Assume that I take that web page example. See, if it is your school website, take a look at your school website. Your school website may have hundreds of pages. You know, the first page of your school website, not only school website, any website, right? The first page of any website is home page. We discussed, right? So now I just typed your school website, right, on my browser, and I got your home page. At the same time, there may be thousands or millions of people around the world can type the home page of the URL for your home page and get the same page. So same home page can be viewed by thousands of people at a time. But does that particular web server have thousands of home pages? No, right? It is one home page. Your school home page, right, is a single document. That single document can be viewed by multiple users, even millions of users at a given time. How it's possible? It is internet. Internet is the one which helps me to view your page. The same internet helps the other person to view your page. So one page, which means one file, is being used by thousands of people. That is file sharing. Here there is no file moved from one place to another, right? So here we use that, right? We don't transfer that. We don't bring from one place to another, right? But if it is a file transferring, the file will be moved from there to my computer. Okay, right. Look at the second example. A file of exam result is shared by thousands of people on internet. Look here, when an examination result is released, check your GC OL examination result. So when that result is released, that result will be uploaded to the website of examination department, right? So it is a single document. Maybe they may type in an MS Word or somewhere, they type your names and results and everything and upload to your web server, or sorry, to that examination department web server. So that results sheet is a single document, but that single document can be used by thousands of students or thousands of people simultaneously. That is file sharing. How it's possible to access that particular web page? Thousands of people can access, right? How it's possible? It is because of internet. So internet helps all these thousands of people to view that single file at a given time. That is file sharing. Okay, so don't be confused with those two words, file sharing and file transferring. They are two different words. Because of internet, both of them are possible, right? Then remote access. So if remote access means accessing a computer from remote locations. What does it mean, remote locations? From far distances, right? So accessing, not only accessing, right? Not only accessing, it is also controlling the computers from remote locations. Assume that there is a computer, right, in a far place, right? I want to access that one, and also I want to control it, or maybe I want to make some changes there. If I have internet, and also if that particular computer has internet, it is possible for accessing as well as controlling. But look at the distance between me and that particular computer. It may be thousands of kilometers. Right? Even though the distance is thousands of kilometers, it is possible to access that particular computer. Not only access, even it is possible to control that computer from remote location. This is called remote access. Internet is the one which helps. See, this person is somewhere. Maybe she is in one part of the world. This computer is another place. This is in another part of the world. If both these computers have internet, there is always a possibility for accessing this computer as well as controlling the computer. That is remote access. I tell you some other things, so I try to explain some other information about remote access because it is the most commonly used technique nowadays. So you have to understand the term properly, right? Look here. Generally, we use remote access for multiple reasons. I put some of the reasons here. Listen to me carefully. So the first reason for using remote access is quickly troubleshoot using remote access. What does the term troubleshoot mean? So troubleshoot, this is a common term, right? Troubleshoot means identifying the errors or identifying the mistakes in a computer and solving them, right? That is troubleshooting, right? You have to identify the mistakes as well as you have to correct that. That is troubleshoot. So take a simple imagination. Assume that you have some problems in your computer. There may be a software related problems, right? So you have some problem. Your computer doesn't work properly. There may be some issue, right? But you don't know how to solve them. So now, generally, if you want to solve such issue, you have to bring a technical person to your home. Then only it is possible, right? You have to bring a person who have the knowledge in handling those errors or those mistakes. But now with the help of internet, it is possible to solve such issues without bringing that person to your home. So as that your brother or maybe a relative has the knowledge about such hardware or software related things. He or she may be in a different part of the world. If both computers have internet, if your computer and your brother computer has internet, it is possible. While he is in his place, he can access your computer, right, and solve such issues. There is no need for coming to your place and solve them. He is in his place, you are at your place. While he is there, he can come to your computer through internet, using internet, and solve them, right? So that is troubleshooting, okay? The second one, software can be installed in a computer from remote location. This is also possible. Now, assume that you want a software, right? Sometimes if you don't know how to install the software, right? Maybe for some software you need some configuration as well. So sometimes some sort of technical knowledge is necessary. So if you don't know how to install a software, again you have to bring a person who knows how to install. Sometimes it is hard because that person may be very far to you. But if you have internet, it is possible to install the software from remote location. I take that assumption again, that assume that your brother is in different place, has the knowledge about installing, right? Assume that he has the software also. If both of you have internet, it is possible to install that particular software in your computer without coming to your home, right? That is possible. It is because of internet, right? That is also one of the functions of remote access. The third one, that is very common one, accessing files, right? Accessing files. So I have some files in my computer. I have some important files in my computer, but assume that I went to another place. Maybe I went to Colombo for a meeting or something. When I was participating in the meeting, I needed a file which is in my computer. I urgently needed that file which was saved in my computer. But the problem is I didn't bring that computer to Colombo. I was in my Colombo. At the same time, my computer was at home. I urgently needed that file. How to bring that? Very simple idea. If you have internet, right, you can remotely access your home computer and find your hard disk. You can search your hard disk and take the file that you wanted or that you required. That is third one, easy to access files, right? So remote access is commonly used for three reasons. Actually, these are advantages of remote access. The first one is very, very important one, troubleshooting, right? Identifying the problems and correcting them. This is possible because of internet. Second one, the software can be installed from far places, right? No need to come to the computer's location to install. While you are away from the place, you can, right? The third one, you can access any computer through remote access for getting files, right? So they are the three advantages, or even you can take them as functions, right? Functions of remote access, okay? Right. Then this is actually not important, but I try to explain because you have to understand, because this is the trend, right? Most of the people use remote access nowadays. So to remotely access the computer, both computers must have a remote access software, right? Both computers means the remote computer and the computer that you want to access from, right? So both computers must have this remote access software. If you want to access my computer from your location, definitely your computer and my computer have a remote access software. This is one of the most commonly used and one of the popular remote access software. You might have heard it. This is called TeamViewer, right? TeamViewer. Both you and me have to install this TeamViewer. It's a very simple setup, right? There is no technical skill needed. So we can easily connect. You have a partner ID, you have an ID, I have an ID. So if I know your ID, I can connect to your computer. You have to give that particular ID to me, then I can connect that, right? Look at the insert partner ID. So if you have TeamViewer, you have an ID like this. Right, look at this. This is my ID. You have a ID. So that ID have to be given. Okay. So this is TeamViewer. There may be many, right? Everything is an open source software. You can download from internet. AeroAdmin, right? AeroAdmin is another one. So this is also similar to, look at this client ID, that is partner ID. This is our ID, so we can connect it. Okay, so that remote access is possible. It is because of internet. At the same time, there is an additional software required, right? In both ends. Okay, this is for your additional knowledge. These names never be asked in exam, but as a student, you have to remember them, right? It would be better to remember. Okay, right. Right. Then disadvantage of remote access. We don't have many disadvantages, right? But there may be one thing, hacking, right? There is a possibility for illegal access, right? Some people can illegally access your computer and steal some information, vital information from your computer. That is possible. But generally, remote access is conducted in between two authorized people, or to see, if I want to connect to your computer, you have to trust me, right? You will give your ID, right? Then I will connect, because once I connected to your computer, I can take over the whole control of your computer, the whole control of your computer at my hand. So if sometimes, right, if some illegal people can take such control, right, there is a problem that is called hacking. Hacking is an illegal entry to someone's computer, right? So, you know, the person who does that is called hacker, right? Hacking is an illegal entry to another person's computer through internet. The person who does hacking is called hacker, right? So that may be one of the disadvantages. There may be one or two, right? But I put only one disadvantages of remote access. Okay. Right. So that remote access also one of the services of internet. Imagine if internet is not available, how can I connect from here to you, right? It's impossible, right? So that is internet. Right, then search engines. That is another important part in internet lesson I have to explain. Actually, search engines are nothing, they are websites, right? They are websites for searching information on www. I repeat it, search engine is a website used for searching information on World Wide Web. Listen to me. See, as I mentioned earlier, we have billions of websites, right? There may be billions of web pages. Now you need a piece of information, right? You need a piece of information, which means you need an information, right? Assume that you want the history of computer. You want to write an article, so now you want to get some information about history of computer. As a person or as a student, you definitely know that history of computer should be in hundreds or thousands of websites. Definitely, because you know history of computer is something which is related to computer history, right? It is important. So definitely there are thousands of websites must have such facts, maybe in different languages. But the problem is, if you don't know the URLs of the websites, how can you get those information? Now you realize that thousands of websites have history of computers. But my question is, my argument is, if you don't know those thousands of URLs, then how can you bring those information? Can you remember those thousands of URL? Do you have such memory power? No, right? That is impossible. Then what is the use of having those billions of websites? Try to understand my argument, right? There are billions of websites. Even thousands of websites may have your topic, right? History of computer. But you cannot memorize those addresses. Then what is the use, right? What is the use of having those billions of websites? This is where the search engines are coming. It is the search engine who helps you to search all these thousands or billions of websites and find the required information. So you have to use these search engines. They are nothing, they are websites. I will show you. They are websites. You have to use these websites, and those websites help you to search all these billions of websites and find the expected result, right? So imagine if search engines are not there, having those billions of websites is useless. I repeat it, if you don't have the search engines, there is no use for having those billions of websites, because as people we cannot remember all these billions of URLs. We can remember only few, but how can you get the expected result from few websites? It is impossible, right? So that is search engine. Look at this. Search engine is a tool, which means website, that enables users to search information on World Wide Web. Okay, World Wide Web means collection of web pages. So this search engine helps us to search all these web pages to find a specific information or piece of information. Search engines help the users to search any information available on websites, right? You can search any kind of information, whether it is a computer related thing, whether it is a literature related thing, whether it is a sporting activity, whether it is related to novel, whatever, right? So you can search using search engines. They search all the websites and fetch the required information, right? So once you type the expected word, I will explain or I will show you how to type. So you have to type a phrase or particular keyword, right, on the search engine. So once it is typed, the search engine goes all the websites, right, and find the required information, and it fetches to your screen, to your browser, right? So this is search engine. So this may be one of the biggest services of internet. Of course, www may be the biggest, right? But it is one of the biggest services, because imagine if search engines are absent, you know, there is no use for having websites. Okay, so this is search engine. Take some of the examples, right? This can be asked in examinations, so you have to remember them. At least remember the first four, right? I put the first four. This may be used widely, so remember them. I didn't put the HTTP. If you want, you may put the HTTP, but I put only the things which start from www, right? www.google.com. Even you can remember Google. That may be okay, right? Google. www.yahoo.com. The term Yahoo is more than enough. www.bing.com. Again, Bing. www.msn.com. www.ask.com, www.duckduckgo.com, and finally www.aol.com. These are some of the examples, right? So there are many search engines available, but I included some of the commonly used search engines. You know, most of the people, almost all the people like to use Google as their search engine, right? But still, the others also popular, but this may be the most commonly used one, google.com. Okay, yahoo.com, big. So to search anything on World Wide Web, you can use one of these search engines, right? So I will show you some of the searching things first, right? So first of all, to search or to use a website, you have to open a browser, right? We already studied, we have to open a web browser. Let me open the Google Chrome, right? I open the Google Chrome. Here you have to type the particular URL, www.google.com. Even google.lk also there. I type google.com, right? Google.com, and press the enter key. Right, now I got the google.com homepage, right? This is the homepage of google.com. You see there is a big box displayed. This is the search box, right? Here we have a box that is search box. So now you have to type the phrase, or you have to type a keyword in the box, right? You have to type a keyword and then click the Google search, right? So let me type history of computers. So when you type, you know, the suggestions are there, so you don't need to type the whole phrase. Just click on it. Right now here, look here, you have results. Look at them. This number of result is found within less than a second, right? Within a less than a second time, such amount of result found on web servers. What happened now? This Google search engine went all around the world, right? Went to www and got such results, right? So now look at them, you have results. The website address is there and the link, hyperlink is in blue color, right? So you have to click the hyperlink to view your information. To get your expected result, you have to check one by one, right? I'm not going to check everything, but look here, on the first page, you have some results. Similarly, there is something on the second page. If you click on the second page, you have another information, right? So I will show you the first one, right? So in the first page, brief history of computer, this is a link, click the link. Right? Now see, a brief computer history is displayed. But I got this article with the help of Google search engine. But to go to this website, you need to remember this URL. Look at them. This URL is slightly big. You cannot remember this URL, right? We already studied about URL. URL is an address given for a web page. Imagine, can you remember such big URLs? No, right? So I went to this web page with the help of Google. Even if you want to go to the another one, see, this is another web page. Click on it. Right? Now look here. There is another article about history of computers. So you have to read. If the article matches to your expectation, then you can write it or you can download it. Right? So this is how the normal search works. Even if you want to search an image, listen to me. If you want to search an image, that is also possible, right? We can search an image. Look here on the top, there is an option called images. Right? Images. So click on the images. Now see Google images. Now we can search for images only, right? So type the phrase again, history of computers. Now this time you have only images, right? There is no articles, all of them are images. But all these images are found on website. Look at them, the URL is there, right? I don't want to click it, but you can search it. All these images are from websites. We cannot remember these URLs, right? So now we can check it. Even if you want videos, go to the videos. Okay, videos is there. So click the videos. Now you have history of computing video from YouTube, right? Google and YouTube always associated, right? They belong to the same company. So whenever you search YouTube videos are there. Even if you want to search books related to history of computer, click on books. Right? Now see, books are there. They are related to history of computer. Right? So this is how the search works. You can search, if it is all of them are included. Text, pictures, videos. If you want image only, click on the image. If you want videos only, click on the videos. If you want books only, books. Even news, right? There are so many things possible. Okay, right. So look here. I tell you one or two searching technique that may be useful for computer users, but not for examination purpose or not for your syllabuses. See, if you want to search a single word, right? Yes, you can type the keyword, which we like to call it as keyword. If it is a single word, right? So then it's okay. But if it is a phrase, right? So assume that I want to search a school name, right? A school name. So like Royal College, Colombo, right? I want to search some information or anything about Royal College, Colombo. So look here, this is a phrase, Royal College, Colombo. There are 3 words there. So if I type Royal College, Colombo, right? Look here, we got information. Listen to me, we got information. Look at the result, you got such amount of results. Right? I will show you in a notepad. I found such results. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, since it is a phrase, I put the phrase in double quotes. Double quotation mark, because it's a phrase. So I put in double quotes and press the enter key, right? Now I am searching. Now look at the result. Right? Now earlier we got such amount of result, but now we got only this amount of result. But still we have the same phrase, right? Maybe at the beginning or at the previous also I typed the Royal College Colombo phrase. Now also I type. But now I got only less amount of result. What's the reason? If you don't put the double quote, right, it searches everything, right? It searches Royal. If some websites have the word Royal, that results also found. If some word related to college, that is also found. So there, it is not the phrase searching. This is, if you don't put the double quote, this cannot be taken as one word or one phrase. Maybe even if you go to the last pages, there may be some information which are not relevant to Royal College. Have you understood? If you go to some last pages, see here, look at them, the results are there. If you move to the last page, there may be some results found, but they are totally irrelevant to Royal College. How it's possible? Because they are there, it is because of word by word searching. Even things related to Colombo there, things related to college there. But if you put in a double quote, definitely things related to Royal College only on the searching results. Now I can confirm that everything, right? So you have this amount of result, right? 577,000 result. All these things related to Royal College, Colombo, right? So this is called phrase searching, right? So searching as a phrase, put the double quote. But if you want to search a single word, okay, better to type that word only. If I want to take something about Jaffna, okay, type Jaffna. But if it is Jaffna Hindu College, it must be double quote. If you miss the double quote, what happens? Only everything will be searched. Jaffna, there are some websites which have Jaffna as words, that will be in the searching result. Maybe some Hindu words are there, that is there. If it is Wormbody Girls High School, so you know you have so many words. Even the web pages have the word girls, they are there. Right? But if you want to get only related things about Wormbody Girls High School, put them in the double quote. So this is one of the searching technique. There may be many. Even if you want to get a definition, or assume that you want to get definition, perfect definition for some words, then type what is, you have to type like this. What is your word? What is computer? What is programming, or what is internet, what is World Wide Web. Don't type World Wide Web, because if it is World Wide Web, again you may have a problem, right? So if it is a difference between two words, you can type RAM versus ROM. Put the versus, right? VS. Computer versus television. smart TV versus TV, right? So there are so many searching techniques, but I'm not going to explain everything, right? This is how Google homepage looks like. If you want Yahoo, type yahoo.com, right? Yahoo.com, www.yahoo.com. So this is the Yahoo homepage. Look here, you have that searching box. Type the keyword and click the search box, right? And also you have other searching techniques, right? I'm not going to show everything. So let me take another homepage. Right? www.msn.com. Okay, this is the home page of MSN. So you have a search box and then you can click the search. This is another search engine. If it is Bing, you can type bing.com and also see there is a logo. This is Bing. Both msn.com and bing.com are from Microsoft, right? Both websites or both search engines from Microsoft. So if you click this one, your Bing opens. This is MSN. Now look here. This is Bing, right? Bing.com. This is from Microsoft. Even you can open AOL.com. Right? So this is the home page of AOL.com. You have to type the word and here search. Right? So this is duckduckgo.com. Mostly used for small children because whenever you search information, you know, it searches all the things from websites. Maybe there are some inappropriate content for small children. So if you want to get some proper content for small children, better to use some search engines developed for small children. So now DuckDuckGo is something, so it is very safe and it search only the things related to kids or some students, right? So duckduckgo.com. So there are so many search engines available. Okay, so check that first. Search engines are websites. They go all the websites, right? They go www and find the expected result. Okay, so there are so many search engines used, right? We have google.com, we have yahoo.com, we have bing.com, MSN, Ask, duckduckgo.com, and AOL.com. At least remember the first four, right? If you can't remember all these things, at least remember the first four. They can be asked in exams. Of course, they were asked in the past, not once, many times they were asked, right? But don't be confused with the browsers. People often confuse the words because we listed some of the browsers earlier, right? Google Chrome, for Mozilla Firefox, Internet Explorer, there are many, Opera. Now we are discussing about search engines. Here also we have examples, Google, Yahoo, MSN. Maybe in the next class, we will discuss about email software, right? There are some email software. So what I'm trying to tell you is we have words which are similar to each other. So there is always a possibility for confusing each other. So don't be confused. Just study them in a separate manner, right? Those are web browsers. Now these are search engines. These must be written as a URL, right? And later we will take some of the email softwares, right? Okay. Right. So these are the things about search engines, right? Then come to the last part, which is electronic mail. I already gave a brief introduction for email. What is email? Exchanging information through internet in electronic manner, right? Generally, mail means exchanging information, right? So sending a post or sending a letter through post is mail, right? We have to call, mail train, right? Why do we call that as mail train? It is a train which carries mails, post. That is mail train. So, but here mail means post, right? But here it is email because the information is exchanged over internet, right? For exchanging messages over internet, the sender and the receiver, both people must have email addresses, right? This is important. So you have to understand that. So receiver and the sender must have email addresses. If I want to send an information to you through email, I must have an email address. At the same time, you must have email address. If both of us have email address, then it is possible for transferring emails, right? Okay, so let's see how an email looks like, right? So this is how an email address looks like. So nila87@gmail.com. This is an example for an email address. Generally, an email address has two parts. Both parts are separated by a symbol called @ symbol, at, but we used to put a symbol, right? @ symbol. This is the one. This is that symbol. So @ symbol is the one which separates the two parts. What is the first part? Look here, Nila87. That is called username or user ID. The part which is in front of @ symbol, right? The part which is in front of @ symbol is called username or user ID. Here in this example, Nila87 is the user ID. The part which is next to @ symbol, this one, right? This is called domain name, right? Domain name. So here, gmail.com is the domain name. Nila87 is the username. @ symbol separates both of them. If it is an email address, definitely there is an @ symbol found, right? Don't forget this. But the domain name can be different. We can't say that it is all the time it is gmail.com. It may be different. I will show some of the other domain names. Of course, the username will be different, right? But you must have @ symbol all the time. There is an @ symbol in your email address, right? So this is the format of an email address. There is a user ID and then @ symbol and the domain name. Okay? Right. Look here, gmail.com. This is domain name. So to provide email addresses to the users, there are email providers on the internet, right? If I want to get an email address, I have to approach email providers. There are many providers available on the internet. I will explain about the providers later. One of the most commonly, one of the most popular providers is Google. Google, maybe minutes ago, we took Google as the search engine. Yes, Google is one of the search engines. At the same time, Google acts as an email provider. So if I get an email from Google, definitely the domain name is gmail.com. Even if you get an email address from Google, your domain name also gmail.com. So what I'm trying to tell you is, if we get email from the same provider, that domain name cannot be changed. Changing the domain name is not in our hand. We cannot decide it. Email providers decide it. All the people who get email from Google must keep Gmail as their domain name. But what about the username? That must be selected by us, because that is the one which reflects us. Nila87 must represent that particular person. So this person, if the person name is Nila, definitely she has to get a suitable name for his her ID, right? So that's why she put Nila 87. If you want to get a user ID for you, definitely you have to get an ID related to your name, maybe your nickname. But you have to understand one thing. See, assume that your name is Murali, right? Your name is Murali. Now you want to get an email from Google, Gmail. So you try to get murali@gmail.com. Right? You want to get murali@gmail.com because your name is Murali. So you want that Murali as username. What about this? What about this? Is it possible? Do you think that murali@gmail.com is gettable? No, right? Because you know that username Murali could be taken earlier. There are many thousands of Muralis in the past. You can't say that you are the first Murali in the world, right? So there are thousands of Muralis. So maybe the first Murali who entered or who tried first won, right? He got murali@gmail.com. Once murali@gmail.com was registered, other people cannot get murali@gmail.com because it must be unique. Maybe the second person may try Murali, maybe a number or Murali or maybe initial Murali @gmail.com. That is gone. Then third Murali came and typed Murali, maybe his birthday, Murali1@gmail.com. In a domain name, you can use alphabets, numbers, and dot, right? A dot. We call it as period, dot. These are acceptable characters, right? For your examination, it may not be important, but remember them, right? The domain name has restrictions. Sorry, a username has restrictions. A username may have alphabets, username may have numbers, and a dot, period. Any other special characters cannot be used, right? So similarly, imagine there are thousands of Muralis lived in the past. So they took so many addresses. So now if you are a Murali, you have to type differently. Murali, maybe your birth year, Murali 1990. Definitely it cannot be taken because there may be a Murali born on 1990. It could have been taken by him, right? So it is something difficult to get a username in your name, right? That's why, you know, usernames are always in the name of the user, maybe a nickname, maybe some numbers, some other initials, they are mixed, right? Because those names were already taken, right? So this is a short example for an email address. There is a username and a domain name, okay? Right. So I will show you some of the email addresses here. Listen to me. We can discuss some other things later, but we have to identify the parts. nuan77@yahoo.com. So nuan77 is what? It's a username or user ID. Yahoo.com is the domain name. Look here, earlier it was gmail.com because that email address was taken from Google. But when you get an email address from Yahoo, Yahoo also provides emails. Yes, that is one of the search engines, but it also provides emails. So if you take email from Yahoo, definitely your domain name is yahoo.com, right? This is yours, right? You can decide that nuan77 is username, right? Not there's an @ symbol to separate both. Look there, Kadir91, this is username. Live.com is the domain name. Live.com is one of the domain names given by MSN, right? MSN is a search engine that also provides live.com. This is username and separates. But I must tell you one thing, that MSN provides more than one domain names to the users. Google provides only one, gmail.com. Yahoo provides only one, yahoo.com. But MSN is something which is different than the others. It provides different domain names to the users. One of them is live.com. I think this live.com is not given by MSN nowadays, but once it was given. Hotmail.com is one of the domain names given by MSN. It is one of the popular domain name too, right? Most of the people have their email accounts in Hotmail. So Bhavi37 is user ID. Hotmail.com is what? It's a domain name, right? So this is also MSN. See, you don't need to remember Hotmail.com from MSN, live.com from MSN. These are not important for you. But I tell you because some of you may want to get some additional knowledge, right? That's why I'm telling you this. But the thing is, you must have the ability to differentiate user ID and domain name. That is the expected one from you, right? What about the domain name here? Visva, right? Visva is the username. What about the domain name? sltnet.lk. If you get email from Sri Lanka Telecom, your domain name would be sltnet.lk. So this is domain name. Visva is username. Outlook.com. This Outlook.com is one of the domain names given by MSN. MSN provides live.com. MSN provides hotmail.com, and also MSN provides outlook.com. This is domain name. Pereira5. This is username. At symbol separates, right? So I hope that you can understand, or you can differentiate the usernames and domain names in an email address, right? So whenever you want to get an email address, make sure your your username reflect your name. Maybe a nickname, but having a nickname without a number actually impossible nowadays, because your name may be available for other people also, right? So you have to give your name and a number, maybe your date of birth, maybe your birth year, maybe your birth date. Try to edit, okay? But domain name is not in your hand. It depends on the provider of the emails, right? If it is Google, it's Gmail. If it is Yahoo, it's Yahoo. If it is MSN, you have options, right? You have Live, you have Hotmail, you have Outlook, okay? So now we started to discuss about emails. I mentioned email is an exchanging of information between people over internet, right? To send or receive emails, you must have email. At the same time, the other person have email addresses, right? And finally, we had the format of email address, right? It has two parts, a user ID followed by a domain name. There is an @ symbol to separate both parts, right? So enough for today. Again, spending some time at home to remember everything. So we will meet in another class, right? So thank you.